Good morning, guys. We're heading somewhere in the van today. So I'm about to my hotel, but I wanted to grab some coffee, and I saw this place. Cheers. So the reason I drove from somewhere hot to somewhere even hotter is I am down here in Phoenix getting some work done on the van. I'm gonna talk to you guys about some of those upgrades here in a second, but I wanted to let you know that actually while we are out here, I am gonna go do a quick photo shoot. So we're gonna get to do some photography, even though it is 100 and hell outside. But actually currently right now, the van is over at Owl Vans, which is literally right there. I could walk to my hotel from there. The first upgrade that I am having Owl put on is a 47-gallon long-range fuel tank. Anybody out there who has driven a Sprinter van, you know that you're finding yourself at gas stations a lot. I believe the stock fuel tank in a Sprinter is about 24 to 26 gallons, and you're usually averaging around 10 to 11 miles per gallon. So you have to find yourself on long road trips refueling a lot. And for somebody like myself and others out there who are looking to take these off-grid, not having fuel can be a bit of a problem. The next upgrade, which I'm actually really excited about, is an upgraded suspension. I'm having the VanCompass 4.3 suspension kit installed, which includes the Falcon shocks with the adjustable reservoirs on them. These adjustable shocks come with 3 different settings, one for your everyday use, one for highway use, and then you have an off-road use for it. I went with the 4.3 kit instead of the 6.3 kit because I wasn't quite ready to throw the 2-inch lift on the van. It already sits pretty high, and don't really know if I need that extra 2 inches just yet. Now, I know all the off-roaders out there are gonna say more clearance is better, and I agree with you, but because this van sits high and frankly, budget was drying up, I felt like I could just go with the 4.3 kit right now, and then down the road, add the Striker 2-inch lift kit if I want to, because how they install that is a full frame drop away with spacers. The suspension kit right now is not really going to keep me from doing that, if it makes sense. So that upgrade can still happen in the future. But because I'm not increasing the ground clearance above the stock 4-wheel drive ground clearance, which is already pretty high, I went ahead and had them throw on a skid plate package. So the rear diff is getting a skid plate, the transmission's getting a skid plate, and the engine compartment is getting a skid plate. I don't need to throw a skid plate on the fuel tank because of the material it is made out of. It's the high density polymer, I believe. It's very strong, and honestly, you're never going to crack through that. Now with the 4.3 suspension, along with those adjustable shocks, you also get a new rear leaf package. They went ahead and sized that rear leaf package for the weight of my van. And then also they are throwing on the Baja brackets, which is just a reinforced bracket system VanCompass has come up with. It helps keep damages happen from the bolts back there, so in case you have to do any maintenance, it doesn't become a whole mess. Now I'm having Owl do all of this construction for me just because this would probably take me a good week and a half myself to do, and I have a few other projects on the van that I'm going to get to work on as soon as I'm back to Vegas. Also, the other big thing for me is since they were working on it, I was able to come back to the hotel and stay working on my computer and get caught up on some projects instead of having to actually be out twisting wrenches myself. Now, to answer the question of why am I staying in a hotel rather than staying in the van? Well, main reason I booked a hotel was I knew the van was going to be in construction all day, and I wanted a place to come hang out and work, and so I went ahead and booked myself a hotel room. I stayed in the hotel here actually last night because right now the van is currently being installed. It's the day of the install. I stayed here last night as well just because I didn't want to have the van completely loaded full of food and water and everything while they're doing the construction. I'm frankly going to probably hit the road early tomorrow to get back to town, so I'm just going to go ahead and crash here again since I already paid for the hotel. Now, the last part of this video that we're going to do is I am going to suck it up, and there is a state park not far from here over in the Superstition Mountains, so I'm gonna go over there and see what kind of photography I can get done. It's been a while since I've been out in the field, and I'm looking forward to just going for a walk and taking some pictures, even if it's gonna be ungodly hot. Now there is some cool clouds out, and I believe there's supposed to be cloud cover throughout the day, so we could get some cool color maybe this evening. We'll see. I do hope it maybe clears up a little bit, because I would also maybe like to grab an astro shot if I can. But that's enough of this. I'm gonna go ahead and start walking over because the van is ready for me to pick up, and then I'm going to head out to where I'm going to shoot. So this shopping center is very dangerous for me.
You have a habit, a Black Rifle Coffee Co, and a can.
Let me give you my initial thoughts on the suspension. I ended up not going into the state park. I'm up here just a ways up the road in a national forest area. But man, the suspension, holy crap. I hit a couple bumps, and I'm used to the van just bumping and bumping and bumping and just like almost throwing you out and breaking your neck. And I kind of braced for it on a couple times, and you get a couple, initial compressions, and then it would just level out and be perfect. So what a smoother ride already. They have me set on the 1 setting, which is the off-road setting. They told me just to drive around that, even though that's not the setting you typically would use around town. They said it's still stiffer than the stock. And man, yeah, I could feel a difference. So driving on this little dirt road was a fun test, and I'm looking forward to more exploration with that. But I will also use the 2 setting, which we have set at 2.4. That setting allows you to have 8 micro adjustments, so they have it in that middle section for me, and that one should be good for around town, and then 3 setting will be for the highway. So I probably will set it to 2, because the highway I'm driving home tomorrow is kind of a windy highway. It's not really a straight shot highway, so maybe later on I'll adjust it to the 3, but I'll probably drive with the 2 tomorrow. Just so I have that running while I'm gone, keep the van cool so it's not super hot when I come back. Okay, so I'm right here. Obviously, you can see where the van is. I want to actually go this direction because that's going to take me that way, and then I'll get nice side lag on that mountain. So all those other ones might be worth coming back for, but this is our path right there. I'm from the desert myself, but the Sonoran Desert like this is a lot different, and man, is it beautiful. There's this really cool scene with all these saguaros, nice beautiful side light. This is cool. Got about 30 minutes or so until sunset, and I kind of see some compositional ideas up here, so gonna get a couple shots and then head over there and get that. Let me show you this. But I'm shooting in a 16:9 aspect ratio and at 15 mil, and I kind of have my camera, you can see it's kind of tilted up this way, and it's distorting, and it's making this saguaro here kind of curve and go into the middle portion of the frame. And then I have this other cactus down here, and then a beautiful blue sky. I'm thinking I'm going to make this a black and white, but we will see. It's kind of a simple composition, but it might look cool as a black and white. And I am focus stacking, shooting all the way up that cactus and then getting the background as well. I'm gonna show you guys a quick composition on the back of the camera for Star Trail. I walked you guys through, I have a screen recording of talking you through the Star Trails, but I forgot to show you the composition. So I'm gonna show you guys that. And then I'm gonna show you the composition I'm working on right now to line up a Milky Way here in a little while. So you kind of look how the stars are going. If you look all the different directions, it kind of shows you the pattern. So like that's obviously due north. So we should get kind of a nice semicircle pattern with them. I don't know how long I'm going to take it, but should look pretty nice. So here's the composition, pretty simple. You just got the desert mountain back here, Superstition Mountain, and then you have this awesome saguaro and another bunch of them over here. Everything's kind of pointed up towards that direction, which is looking really nice. I was kind of thinking about composing this for the Milky Way coming down that direction, which is why I left a little bit of a gap there, but we'll see if I like that in post or not. And then should be getting like a half moon star trail. That right there is why you make sure you have your freaking headlamp on at night. Dude. This is with our regular headlights. This is with the light bar. And then add in our unders. There you go. Probably need to adjust the light bar up a little bit higher. This is the first time I've actually used it, so. So I ended up not doing a sunrise shoot just because I was out late. I didn't get back to the room until about 1 in the morning. And I needed to make sure I was on the road at a decent time before it got too hot. Right now currently it's 100 degrees, so I wanted to try to beat the peak heat getting back home. A quick update, especially since I changed the van. I drove a lot of the ways in that #1 setting. That's what I was recommended to do. And when I got to Kingman, which is about a couple hours outside of Vegas, I went ahead and switched it to the firm setting, which is a level 3. Now with the level 1, already the handling is way better. There's some pretty severe crosswinds, and at no times did I feel like I was going to lose control of the vehicle. Before the old suspension, you hit crosswinds, you're white knuckling it quite a bit. But now, even with that softer setting of the suspension, it felt way better. And now that I've adjusted to the level 3, it is handling the highway. I can't even quantify how much better it's handling the highway. So I got quite a bit of crosswinds coming through, and I mean, I'm driving with just my pinky essentially on the steering wheel. It's handling really, really well. So very impressed with this adjustment so far.